So I'm just good with collecting evidence for our success and just working the machine.
Yep.
You know, maybe we sell more pizzas next week than we did this week, but we sure as fuck proved that our kitchen is open and we're open for business.
So what I've done
Sorry.
is
Jeez, Hulk.
I wanted to come up with a metaphor, a container to put this story in.
Okay.
And so what I've come up with is getting off the launch pad.
All right.
And I've taken the 6 pain points that have been given to me and I've turned them into metaphors in rocketeering. And also, I'm having trouble differentiating between pain points 4 and 6 because I feel like they're the same kind of thing. So if you could come up with a way for me to differentiate them so I can make it like a metaphor and maybe make some better metaphors.
The vectors that I'm coming from is one of them is about not having a certain number of features or characteristics or qualities of character necessary to be willing to. Okay, so Everett sent me a Teams message and he's like, Alexander, you made me do this hierarchy and now support requests are number fucking 7 and John's not in the office and I haven't finished my number 1 and I really want to do the support right now, but I can't. That's the inverse of the problem our clients have, which is they don't have the hierarchy. They're not confident enough to say, no, I'm not responding to your emergency. That's number 4.
Okay.
Number 6 is I am working on important shit and people just keep fucking interrupting me.
Okay.
Like I have a culture of interruption. Which
So
is another way of saying my team doesn't problem solve on their own and they're dependent on me to solve all problems. Does that help?
I think so.
Okay. So do you want us just to read this? You're a business owner building a space shuttle, Branson, Musk, Bezos. You keep trying to start the launch, but you can never quite pull it off. Every time you try and ready for countdown, there's a problem with the shuttle. I think so. And I mean, a lot of business owners have that problem. They're like, I'm trying to build this thing and it's just, I don't even know if I can get it finished, much less off the pad. And so you have to be a business owner who can build the rocket ship, and then you have to be good once that thing is in space and you've got 30 years of transit between here and the next star, that you're also going to be fine with running that rocket ship once it's in space. It's not just, I want to build a rocket ship and launch it without being in it. We can go a lot of places with that metaphor.
Yeah.
A lot of business owners launch their rocket too early. You know, it's like, yeah, we launched and now we're in orbit and we'll never be able to finish it because now it's fucking moving and way too complicated. And my ego is too proud to bring it back down. Like, there's a lot of business owners stuck in low Earth orbit, actually. Maybe that's a point that we can put in here. Like, what type of advice do you have for that type of person, Alexander? Humble up and fucking land. Be like, you realize your problem here is that you're in orbit.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're like, why are things so expensive? Because it's harder to build a rocket ship in orbit than it would be on a launch pad.
So, one word or phrase, let's close up.
Go make me money.
We are making money.
Rockets.
Rockets!
One of the things I'm finding here, okay, I know we don't have, we have half the company here. Well, more than half, considering Warren's standing beside us. One of the things I want to, you do count.
Thank
You
you.
count very much, Warren.
Thank
And Mike, you count too, even though I can't see you right now. I would like to take a few moments and talk about KPIs for the sales department. We're doing this thing where it's like, okay, here's the quota from a built on a cash flow perspective, right? But in all reality, everything we can do to increase MRR is like pays dividends past.
Well, and sales teams shouldn't give a fuck about cash flow. Sales team's job should be to go sell anything and everything the company has to offer without a bias, so that we can properly serve our customers, which is how I'm operating.
Yeah,
It's just that I also have a cash flow quota.
Yeah.
But really, in order to foster and be the salespeople we want to be, in order to be the people we say we're going to be, then it needs to be celebrations around all kinds of revenue.
Well,
And right now we're not celebrating. So if you're doing things or you feel pressure to do your rock or whatever, and you can, I'm inside the business anyway. Like I'm in the business, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to escape. Maybe it's wise for me just to honor that and own it. And you need to, instead of trying to do more internal work, just continue to carve work over, prioritize the work to me that would be most helpful to you, so that you can spend more time in the kitchen, so to speak. Like, because you're doing a pretty, as far as I'm concerned, you're doing a super good job, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like, couldn't do better.
No, keep the pace. If you keep this pace up, I will be
I mean, I
ecstatic.
Like, I was thinking this morning, like, if we could just show people what we did for Laurel, like, capture and edit an event into an online product for $4,000 or less. Like, I want to do a featured video commercial. I want to do some pre-roll on YouTube. I think marketing is where we're going to see our success here. I think we got sales. I think it's fucking going. I think we just keep the ship moving, and Alexander continues to focus on systems and team
Like, I'm gonna
enablement
do my
rather than
best
direct
just
sales
to-
effort.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think having Jen be the direct sales effort accountability, I don't want to rob you of any of that accountability. I want you to be 100% accountable, which you are being. But long story short, like, I went through a tally of obstacles we faced last month and gotten over, and there was no short of 15 of them.
Great.
So we did what we did last month. We produced the quota we produced last month, and we built the systems we built last month with like 15 independent challenges that were literally in our way of being able to do it.
Yeah.
So I kind of just want to be like, let's just see how the next 2 months goes, because I think it's just going to keep going, because she's only getting better. The scopes are only becoming more clear. Like, the team gets it. Like, I came up with a whole list of reasons in the decade that we've been doing this about why I find sales challenging. And one of the things I never came up with was the idea that sales was hard because I didn't have a team.
Yeah.
But, like, the truth is, you can have the most amazing processes in the world, but without you being accountable to it, and then you having projects to support you, and me to support you, and Mike to support you, and Everett to support you, without all these things, a team was impossible. And now we have a team and processes. I'm just waiting. I'm kind of like in this place in my life where I'm like, do I have a restaurant? Are we at the place where I can just be making dough every day? Or am I going to be like slapped with a realization that I forgot to buy an oven? And I'm sure we'll find little things, but it's feeling more and more every day like
It's operational.
we're now operating a company, not building one. And I'm just holding that context that includes the sales team, because it's not a functioning company without a sales team, and it feels like we're operating a sales team, and it's working. Like, we're the same 3 people we've been for 10 fucking years, but we're sitting at this table having sold $1,000 worth of shit last month through a sales team that never existed before. So, I'm done.
Cool.
And so ConnectWise says there's an emergency by turning a ticket blue, purple, or orange, or a human says it's an emergency by putting it in the status of emergency, and in both of those considerations, Johnny gets an email.
What about urgent? Okay.
Fuck urgent.
Yeah.
Fuck the word urgent, and fuck anybody who says urgent. They're gonna get a triage severity thing, and they're gonna fucking get attention when they get it. They have to convince somebody it's not urgent. They have to convince you it's an emergency. That's how we get around the fucking language urgent. They're like, this is urgent. We're gonna be like, just so I'm clear, it's impacting a department, and it's a significant issue, but you have a workaround. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Then justify to me that it's an emergency, not an urgency. Go ahead. And it's not I'm being a douche. It's you stand in your power as a human being and tell me to divert resources in my company because you are more important than everyone else. If it's true, you'll feel comfortable telling me that. If it's not true, you won't be, and I promise you'll get great support because our system has plans in place for this quality of a support issue, and you'll get attention quickly. But the word urgent here means nothing. And so that's the context I want to hold here, is I get it, you said urgent, prove to me it's an emergency. Otherwise, I promise it'll be handled. The machine fucking works, it'll get handled, you'll get good support. Convince me. Okay. Yeah, I agree. So, good with this for today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're definitely right at the time. Okay, one word or phrase.
Progress.
Good.